All right. Yeah. Welcome to the Domcast podcast. My name is Mr. Boom87, and today I have a guest with me. My first time guest. Would you mind introducing yourself?
Hello, my name is Lucy.
Yeah, nice to meet. Yeah, it's great that you're here. Lucy. We both became friends the other day, and today we're just gonna be doing some bit of talking about some video games here and there, and just sort of talk on our minds, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So the first thing I was actually wanting to mention, The Last of Us. This is something that like a lot of people were talking about, um, recently. Like it was just a huge spag overall. Now I haven't played the game, but from what I can tell, the story itself is like it's like the main focus of Last of Us. So like I'm mostly gonna be focusing on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the story itself. Okay, how would you describe the story?
The story is good. Obviously it's one of the driving forces of the game, but I would also say a bit of its gameplay too, but it mostly just centers around its narrative. It's
Yeah.
my own personal thoughts on it. It was great at the time, but now going back to it or trying to remember it by anyway, it's a bit forgettable, but that's mostly just me saying that. I'm not going to say that the game is bad. Just looking back at it in retrospect, after it coming out like 2013 and now it's nearly 10 years old, I think it's only a bit forgettable now.
Yeah, that is the case with it. Personally for me, like, okay, I haven't played the first Last of Us, but from what I can tell, it like in some way it's slightly like it doesn't like honor the way the first one was. It ends up trying to go in a new direction that's like trying to push it to like a whole new level or something like that. And like it tries to introduce a new like main character, but it ends up also like it basically tries to paint them the new character is Abby, and like she's sort of painted in this light where she's considered to be the hero, while like the
Yeah.
rest of the other characters are like the ones like the main enemies, like they are terrible people in every way. Like
It's I might as well go into that conversation. I think basically everyone knows what exactly happened at the start of The Last of Us 2.
yeah, everyone knows about the whole like because it I don't understand why that decision had to be made. That like
The way that I can see it, because I know exactly what what they were wanting to do. It's basically just Naughty Dog had so many good ideas. The problem is though they wanted to do all of those ideas at once, and because of that they really didn't actually format the whole ideas, like pace themselves, if you get what I'm talking about.
yeah, I'm
So
getting yeah, they had a lot of ideas, but they couldn't be able to like properly execute them, right?
because of that, they wanted to do all of them at once to make a big opener. But the problem with that though is that they then basically shot themselves in the foot for later halves of the game,
Yeah,
because the opening impression that you have of this character is obviously, I want to kill them, and then randomly you get switched to play as that character, and I don't blame the players that do this. Literally just kill themselves when they get to play as her, because
yeah,
she's
because
a villain.
yeah, like I don't get why you would go for this sort of approach with a new character. Like after they have taken out like okay, actually no, it doesn't happen after like Joel like kicks a bucket. It happens later on, I think.
It's actually pretty funny though, because from my memory, it was a while ago, but I think Nier Automata does something similar to this, but they don't make it the opening of the game. It's like nearly halfway through the game, and they actually do have the character beforehand, before doing a somewhat similar act to what happens in the opening of Last of Us Part 2. But I'm not going to go into that too much, obviously.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine with like, but still like the main character. Okay, so I want to start off with Joel because from what I can tell, Joel was like this sort of character that was considered to be a survivor. He wasn't a hero archetype. He was just someone trying to survive in a world that was like run by the apocalypse, and it was either it's basically you have to either survive on your own, because if you survive in a group, you end up getting killed or something like that. And he's a fan favorite character. Everyone loves him. He's someone that a lot of people like really enjoy, and with the marketing for this game, they were actually, the way it was marketed is that like Joel was gonna be a playable character, and like he was actually
it's direct false advertisement.
Yeah, it's literally false advertisement, because like it's just like the way, and there were a bunch of leaks, by the way. There were actually like leaks for the entire game, and like it revealed a lot about like Joel's death, like how the story goes and all that. Like there was a lot that was actually like leaked, and everyone pretty much like lost it and just were pretty much upset, because
when the leaks came, my reaction was obviously this isn't very good, but with nearly every single thing that's new, that has controversy, I wait until the actual thing is out so I can actually judge the thing instead of judging it because of something it does that I saw in one leak.
Yeah, that's true. You never
really criticize a game for.
Yeah, I think you never should like criticize a game based on the leak. You need to wait until the full product has actually come out. And actually,
especially a story-driven game like The Last of Us 2.
It's actually the same mentality that I had for Balan Wonderworld, where I thought that like, okay, yeah, the demo isn't all that good, but hey, maybe they might fix it when the later games come out, you know? Like when the actual full game has released, then it will properly be sorted. But that was a whole different story entirely, because like when the game actually came out, there were a bunch of technical problems and all that stuff. It was a glorified mess in general, and yeah.
The thing I'll have to say about The Last of Us 2, though, in basic summary of what I think of the game, I am actually in the middle of starting a whole new game plus playthrough on hard, because well, two reasons. One, I've been wanting to replay it for a while. Second of all is I just got myself a PS5, and the 60 FPS patch came out just when I got my system, so obviously I'm playing it with the upgrade. But from me obviously already playing the game before, my whole thoughts on the game is the story is pretty bad, but it's not me saying it's bad as in I really hate it. It's bad as in I really wish it could have been a lot better, because it's really easy to make better.
Yeah.
But the rest of the game is great. The gameplay is much better than the first one. And ironically, even though people were joking in the marketing about them adding a jump button is really pathetic, it does add a lot more dynamic to the gameplay as well. But the basically the thing I can say is it's a great game, just awful movie.
Yeah. I think it definitely has the controls for the game. I can't really speak for the controls, but like it does operate as a video game. Like
it's even better on the PS5 patch. I don't really recommend playing the game on PS4 now that I've played a bit of it on PS5. It really better for the 60 FPS. But the thing I have to say, though, it does add a lot of additions with the gameplay too, like being able to like the more flourishes with the upgrade system, and also more stuff to work with in upgrades, and also more dynamic looking environments to find weapons. So basically finding a pipe weapon, a melee weapon you can use in like a pipe sort of area that's well fitted into the environment, and the character
really does actually work
from the environment. And also, the one good credit I can give it is it's incredibly intelligent AI. With it's much more intelligent, is what I mean.
Yeah.
But the only real thing I don't like about its gameplay is what it does with what it does with dogs, since it directly links with its story, and it's not good.
Yeah.
In summary, though, yeah, they basically just add a lot more to what the original game, I think, lacked a bit of. So,
Yeah,
it's very ironic that the first game focuses more on story, while the second one just has a ton more better gameplay, while the story is just very lacking.
Yeah.
The one I have to say about the story, which is a big disagree I have with people, is it isn't entirely too out of character for Joel to be like that before he dies. Me going through that scene again from my second playthrough I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah.
It's mostly having context of what happens after the first game and to the start of the second game.
Yeah, I guess maybe he would get a bit rusty after a while.
He mellows out.
Yeah, I guess that would kind of make sense. But like, I think another thing that's I think it's also the way he kind of like went out in a way. Like, in a lot of people have made this comment. A lot of people.
He went out was the.
Sorry. You can talk fast. Go ahead.
Go on. Yeah, the way that he went out was too distasteful for it. I'm not gonna lie with that.
Yeah.
It's just. It was too distasteful for the character to basically die. They could have done that a tiny bit more respectfully for the character, since it was just he's barely even in the game to begin with. You get to play as him in the prologue, which is not very long to begin with, and he's then relegated to flashbacks.
Yeah, no, I feel like he should have gone out in some like more respectable way. Like, let's say that like Ellie and her girlfriend were like and him were like also like running from clickers, and it was just like there was a barrage of them, and like the only way they could be able to get out was like through one of the vents, but like Joel couldn't be able to.
They could have made it.
Make him go down in an epic sacrifice or something like that. Like,
what they could have done to actually keep that plot line they wanted to do with Abby, though, is by basically making her look like she's trustworthy. So basically, you know, the normal gameplay where you have Joel and Ellie, but in this game you're supposed to be playing as Ellie.
Yeah.
Around the start of the game, I mean, what they could have done instead is for at least one or two chapter, have Abby being somewhat of a supportive character that's a apparent ally, and then she double crosses you. So, example, Joel needs help or is basically having to run away from zombies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Abby needs Abby's help, and then all she does is basically just leave him to die there.
Yeah. Still,
he witnesses that, and it then somehow leads to a much better conclusion instead of brutally beating the man's head in with a.
Yeah, it would actually make a lot more sense. I think with
the only reason why I kind of understand why it's like that, though, is because Joel did also technically, well, not as brutally, but still murdered Abby's dad.
Yeah, and here's the thing about like the surgeon that like is really interesting. Like, they sort of make it that this surgeon character is like the most important. Like I mean, yeah, he was the one who.
You can tell it was not planned from the first one.
Yeah, it was not.
Can tell it's not planned.
It was 100% not. Cause like
it's a complete like it's not a planned twist whatsoever. Yeah. You can tell just.
It could have been actually. I feel like they could have just changed it to be like a major character, like one of the major characters. They should have just made it one of the characters that you killed in the hospital instead of just that one person you killed in the operating room. Yeah,
because that then makes it a whole ton of problems when you're going back to the original and then comparing side by side. They do not look alike.
Yeah, it's just. It's clear that Neil was just trying to make up time. Also, another thing that Ellie ends up like turning into an entirely different character. Like the way she the way she becomes
her
is
transformation in the game, it is interesting, but then it just goes absolutely nowhere when you get to around the end of her part of the game, and then goes to Abby, because when you then get to play this section, and then it leads to when they finally cross paths in present time. Her character is just completely dead.
Yeah, it's like, it's so insane. And like the ending of the game is one of those things that, like, okay, if you went out for revenge,
the ending is more insulting than the opening of the game, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it feels really dumb, because like they did this whole thing where they wanted a revenge story, but they never like went with it fully to the end. Like,
I'm going to say this thing about me anyway. I really hate plot lines that basically go through the revenge route, and then they give the moral revenge is bad, and basically either that or revenge corrupts you, and if you do revenge, you become as bad as the person that you're doing revenge on.
Yeah, and the thing is about
since you can have you can have revenge, but that does not make you, I don't know, if it's a game or any sort of media where it's, revolving killing, you don't become as bad as the other person if that person is a dictator that you need to get rid of to save other people. You don't become as bad as them, you're saving other people's lives.
Exactly.
I don't get a plot line that's used in media, since it doesn't
make much sense. Like, if you're gonna get revenge on a really bad person who's like wrongfully done the wrong things, like, you have to take them out. You don't pull that whole like
then they say that you're gonna become as bad as me. It's an incredibly stupid morality. It only works when there is really actually a grey area, which there kind of is in The Last of Us, but the problem is though Ellie's ending is really bad because she decides at the very end not to kill the person that she went through the entire area of the country for, and the reason that's incredibly stupid and bad is because she brutally murders loads of people, including dogs, in the way in her journey to kill that one person, and then she just says, "No, I'm not going to kill you. It's not worth it.
I'ma just give up. I'ma just give." Like, this just doesn't make any sense. In fact, like, the whole thing with it is that like, she ends up taking out a pregnant woman. At that point, I feel like she should have realized that
she didn't know, but it's still incredibly dumb.
Yeah, but like, once she actually did kill that person, like, she probably would have been like, "Oh my god, what am I doing? I can't do this anymore." Like, that's when she should have stopped. I feel like that's where
she ironically actually did have thoughts about that. Just the thing, she went back to the normal hideout place, and I remember, I am in the middle of doing my second playthrough. I remember that she goes back to the theater that they were hiding out in, and they were basically thinking about just going back. But then, right when that happened, obviously, then after you've played Abby's,
Abby ends up showing up.
She comes back to the aquarium and then sees both of her friends dead. She then somehow tracks down the location of the theater, and she starts, and she tries to take them out. And the thing is about that, like, she definitely would have Abby's in the right there.
Like, okay, yeah, Abby definitely, but she was willing to take out all of them in some way, and she would easily have gone on a murderous rampage if that kid that she saved earlier said stop. She definitely would have taken them out entirely. And
here's one difference I actually noticed as well. Again, this is from memory. I don't think Abby went onto a murder spree when Joel killed her father. She just wanted to murder Joel.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
Obviously, that doesn't fix the problem, but it makes it a bit easier to understand than Ellie killing a bunch of people and then not bothering to kill the person at the end.
Yeah.
And another thing I'm going to say, people have a lot of issues with the ending of that cutscene when she grabs Ellie's girlfriend that is pregnant, saying, when Ellie says to her that she's pregnant, so don't kill her, and then she just says good and is about to slit her throat.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't really agree with people having issue with that, purely because Ellie did the exact same thing. It basically, in Abby's mind, it's basically just this woman does not care about this person being pregnant. Why should I give the exact same remorse?
Yeah, that actually would
The
make sense.
the thing is though, then she has the person that she then saved and also basically looked after for her entire
Yeah,
part of, which is Lev.
yeah,
He comes in and then
like says, stop it, no.
as basically a moral compass saying, don't do that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my god. Okay.
Making her ironically the better character.
Jesus Christ. I feel like they sort of just like. Oh. Nah, I'm not gonna go into that. I was about to say like this, like Ellie's character isn't even like that similar to like when she was.
It's character assassination.
Yeah, exactly.
The one thing I have to say, though, the reason why the ending is much worse though is what happens right afterwards. They then finally take the warning because right after all that happens,
Yeah.
Abby says to come after her ever again, which is the best thing to do after everything. But they then settle down in a farm ranch, and they have that baby and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Tommy
and then like I feel like at that point maybe Ellie could have like taken the higher ground and just said, you know what, no, I think I'm enjoying my new life. I know I feel like it take a while to get over this, but I don't want to give this up. I feel like that would have been perfect to end the game, because the way it was, like all of it happening, like I feel like it was a perfect way to end the game. Could have been like
Tommy turns up and, you know, still has a grudge against it, and he actually has a bit of an outburst against Ellie for basically just dropping this. But he then leaves, and then she then for some reason continues debating on going after her again, and then her girlfriend directly says to her face when she's about to leave in the middle of the night, if this happens, she's going to leave. Cutting forward, you know, right at the end, she goes back to the ranch and they're not there anymore. Again, but going forward from that, the two Lev and Abby get kidnapped by the cult group in that place,
like gangsters, right?
And then Ellie is obviously there to kill her at least, but she then ends up saving the people that are being captured there, and they say to her that she's then told by the people that she saved there that she's on the beach, goes there, and then the inevitable fight happens, and the Abby bites her bits of her finger off.
Yeah, and then like
she's about to kill her, and then she gives up.
Actually, no, it's like she has a memory of Joel.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
And the thing about it is that like
she gives up.
I feel like that would have actually like made it worse, because like Joel was someone truly special to him. I'm pretty sure like that would actually just have made Ellie feel even worse and just like take Abby out. Like it's especially
worse right at the end of the game when she goes back to the farm or ranch.
She lost her family.
She then tries to play the guitar to remember Joel by, and she can't because the fingers are gone.
Yeah.
Then even more question: why the hell didn't you just kill her?
Yeah.
You already lost your fingers to be able to play the guitar. The only thing that you ever to remember him by. So it's then even more questioning: why didn't you just kill her?
Yeah.
You'll then be at peace if you really. Because again, the only reason I say that the ending part when she decides to continue going after Abby in that ranch, the reason why that is the thing that makes the game completely bad is because she continues on that route regardless, and she still gives up at the end anyway. So there's literally no point in that part.
There was no point to that section at all.
It would have been an anticlimax ending if they did the way that I wanted to, but it's still a better ending.
Yeah.
Basically the moral being you can't get everything you want in your life.
Yeah.
And also not everything is going to be good for you. It's obviously a bit more complex than that, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think I definitely get what you're trying to say, because like I feel, the last section, you definitely actually make a good point. That whole section over there could have literally, like, it could have just been cut out from the game, but like I guess Neil just wanted some kind of climactic way to end the game in some way, like having them
The
duke it
only,
out.
literally the only thing I hate about the gameplay is the implementation of dogs.
Oh
Because
yeah, because they're not even.
the reason
The
why
thing about the
the-
dogs is that they're not even like they're meant to be like just regular dogs. They're not like Nazi
They are.
trained dogs.
and they have relations to the enemies next to them. So if you kill the enemy right next to them, the dog starts whimpering really realistically and stays near its owner.
Yeah, that's that is one of
its
the
owner,
ways
and
it's sorry.
When I first saw that, I got incredibly upset when I just stopped playing for a good while, purely because I absolutely hate seeing that sort of stuff. And that's the only problem. This is me speaking from memory, so I'm not going to say it's 100% accurate.
Yeah.
But I swear, Naughty Dog saying that you don't have to kill dogs in your playthrough. Here's the thing, though: you're forced to kill a dog in Ellie's story, no matter what. It's story. So avoiding an option is you have to kill a dog anyway.
Oh.
And that makes it incredibly bad, because in Abby's route, when you start playing as her, you actually meet that dog that Ellie kills in the future, and you actually get to play ball with her.
Yeah, that's the thing about
that's just incredibly manipulated, because if you have the option,
tugging at the player's heartstrings.
It's forcing you to feel bad instead of actually feeling bad for your own actions.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I own a German Shepherd as well, so like to see a poor dog like that get completely brutalized.
I have
like
a dog, and I know, and I really hate hearing those noises.
Yeah. It's like you can literally feel like.
I'm not looking forward to getting to that part.
Yeah, that's gonna be a pain. Oh god. But I think
the sad thing is though, I'm gonna have to kill the dog, since I don't have a moral high ground to pick, do I? Because they forced me to kill anyway.
Yeah. You know what I think? Okay, I think we can both agree that story-wise, Last of Us 2,
story and story implementation into the game, it's awful.
Yeah, it really just.
But it's not awful as in it's really bad and that's it. It's really bad and it's
like and the decisions made like are just really awful.
Because it could have easily been done a lot better, but they just decided to do every single idea that they had at once, and then
and I feel like that really just it does kind of downgrade the game, because like maybe they should have looked at a perspective of like the fans and like thought, okay, with these we need to like make a story that continues like really well after the first game and is like well like rounded, like we are able to we're able to introduce new characters in a meaningful way. Like
it is really funny because I have to say this, Abby's story is a ton better than Ellie's. It very ironically feels like a completely different game than what was actually advertised, and I actually prefer it.
Now that I think about it, they could have like just maybe they were trying to like make Abby like the new character, like fully. They weren't gonna do Ellie and Joel's story. They wanted to like.
I'm pretty sure I did mention Lev, but in Abby's story, you end up meeting two people that are being hunted by a cult.
Yeah,
and one of the main reasons is obviously not shoved in your face, but it's pretty clear that it's because of the character either being, again, memory, so I can't be 100% sure, either being non-binary or trans. So and that's seen as completely unnatural. So the cult is coming after them because of that, and you end up having to protect them, because when you end up meeting them, you're Abby's about to get hung in the middle of the forest, while the other two characters, the other one that you're with anyway, she ends up getting her bones hit her arm.
It gets busted.
Hammered. And she then needs immediate medical attention, which you end up doing. But you end up, being with the two of them and looking after them. But then Lev goes back to the island where the cult is, and ends up trying to help their mother, which I'm again, it's memory, I'm trying to remember, but all of it goes sour, and they then have to evacuate the island. The thing with that, though, is that Abby then basically betrays the people that she used to be with to help them, and what happens is, sadly, the sister ends up sacrificing herself to be able to get the two of them to leave because they're held at gunpoint.
Yeah.
And, because of that, Lev is an incredibly good representation of that group of people, and also Abby is a very good character because she actually grows through her own path as well, and from that path, ironically, grows from what I can get. Good, she moves on from what happens instead of just dealing with it, which having to deal with it for the rest of her life. Which it's very ironic because the story in Ellie's pathway where she wants to kill Abby, it's basically it would have been the exact same thing with Ellie if she was able to get her revenge, but she never did, so she's going to be having that consume her for the rest of her life. And that's why revenge plot lines are always screwed up for some reason. But what I'm saying is, though, Abby's path of the story is very ironically much better than Ellie's, the one that's advertised all of the game.
Yeah. Maybe they were because I feel it's definitely the advertising.
Literally just really bad revenge story.
Have you noticed that for the box art, there's no like Joel on it? There's like different.
It's one of the worst box arts I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just angry Ellie. That's it.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Like it doesn't. I mean, yeah, sure, you could say that. Oh, it screams revenge in some way.
I've even got it on
like,
my.
It feels more like a dark emo game.
I've even got it on my PS5 home screen. It's really just Ellie angry on the cover, and that's it.
Yeah.
At least it isn't a guy holding a gun on the cover.
Yeah, I think.
Positive.
Yeah, if you really compare it to the first one, and the
first one had a much better cover.
Yeah, because you could tell that this is a post-apocalyptic world, and we have this adult guy with a kid. They must be trying to survive. Like you can literally get the story from the box.
There's not much you get from.
You don't get much from Angry Ellie. You could say
all you can really assume is that it's going to be a revenge story, maybe.
Yeah, or that's all you can literally.
And
assume.
that's only like nearly half of the game.
Yeah. Another thing that also bothered me a little bit. With Abby, her design is a bit atrocious because
I don't exactly agree.
She looks too muscular.
There are loads of women that are that muscular in the world. I'm not going to lie. And I would expect her to be that built. Especially after her dad.
Yeah, I guess so. It just seems a little weird to me.
I can understand that, but the only thing I have to say, though, the people that were incredibly what would I say, sexist and also transphobic about the character, because they assume that she's trans, which it's really telling, because muscular woman, that automatically means that they're trans. That's really to say.
Yeah, that's what?
The character is not trans. I'm saying that it's very transphobic to say that, because you're then automatically assuming that all
muscular people are
trans men to women are always going to be completely muscular.
Nah, that's not the case whatsoever.
A bad way of looking at it.
I can't remember the name of who I can't remember who the name of that person that this was helping out in the game in some way. It was some video about women representation in video game, and it was really just a bit of a pain.
Abby's story is good. She is a good representation for women. The only thing I'm saying is the opening of her of the game and her character at the start of the game handled very poorly.
Yeah,
that's thing. The character of Abby in her story, good. The opening, awful.
Yeah, it really is just sort of I guess, like, okay, how about we come out to like a total conclusion of this game?
I have to say this one last thing about the story, though.
Yeah.
But this is one of the big, really not very good things that it does, with especially with the game and the ending. They don't show you a flashback until the very end of the game, when you get to see the very last interaction that Ellie and Joel had. They should have had that at the start of the game, instead of, like, I don't know, when just after he dies, instead of the end of the game, because then it adds more impact to what you're doing, instead of randomly seeing an impactful flashback at the end of the game. It's basically where Ellie's saying to Joel, "I don't know if I can forgive you for lying to me and also basically dooming the world, but I want to try."
Yeah.
We don't until the very end of the game. That would make it a lot more impactful if we saw that before he was killed.
Yeah.
They want to do a weird flashback placement around the entire game, and that makes it incredibly messy.
It just sort of distorts everything entirely.
You can make disconnected, like, plot lines happen, but it's incredibly hard to do.
Yeah, it's a delicate process. In fact, you know what? I think that's something that every sequel should, like, realize. It's a delicate process to, like,
in my eyes, a good sequel is just following it on from the original, but not the exact same as the original.
Yeah, you need to, like, properly
completely different,
it.
Just being completely different, but following on from the original.
Yeah. In fact, you know what I think? I think they should have, like, planned this out a lot more better. Like, I know this is something that, like, is a bit hard to do.
I'm not going to say The Last of Us is a bad game. It's not. It's just a very bad movie.
Yeah, you can definitely say that. Like, gameplay-wise, it works, but movie-wise, it is not good whatsoever.
Not good at all. I am obviously still looking forward to playing the rest of the game on.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I might try the game for myself to properly look into it, but, like,
I think you might get the same conclusion that I get if you're agreeing with everything I'm saying. It's just game good, story not very good. It's upsettingly bad, though. It's not bad and that's it. It's so upsettingly bad that you really wish it was better so badly. And it's funny because it's coming from the person that now, anyway, doesn't look back on the original Last of Us very well.
Yeah.
But it's mostly just because of it being a bit forgettable now. Not saying that the story is bad, though.
Yeah, I think the only thing we can hope for Last of Us 3 is probably gonna either be like an entirely new game with new characters.
Really hope they just drop Ellie and just focus on Abby.
I think, yeah, just drop that whole thing entirely. Just like,
I know that people are not going to buy the game when they hear that, but it's then following with again.
Yeah, I think the thing is with, like, Ellie and Joel's story are both done. Like, it is all
Abby still has a bunch she needs to do. She needs to look after Lev.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just see if Naughty Dog has learned their lessons.
I just hope that their next game is not another dark, boring game. Because they've been doing that for a good while now.
Yeah. What was the last one? Uncharted 4 was actually pretty nice.
I've not played that in a long while, so I cannot comment.
There's actually gonna be a PC release for that.
Yeah,
at least that's what I've had.
The last time I played it was ironically the day it came out, so I can't really talk too much about it.
Yeah.
It has been like 6 years, I think.
God, I need to play the Uncharted series because, like, I've already seen like gameplay on it and like the story, but like I want to like actually experience the playthroughs.
My favorite Naughty Dog games is just the Jak and Daxter games. I'm not too much into the other ones that they made afterwards, but I don't hate them, obviously.
It's been a while since... Actually, you know what? There's been a bunch of games... You know what? How about we actually go into a whole thing about, like, other video games that's been gone for a while. Now,
Sure.
For PlayStation, like, when the next generation, we now have new tech, new graphics and all that. Like...
Yeah.
Infamous is a franchise that like has been gone for a
Infamous
while.
would be an amazing thing to use to utilize the system.
Yeah, because
Same
they did it for the
PS3
PS4
and
with like
PS4.
the touchpad. Uh, like
It's just imagining your powers being used with the haptic feedback and the
oh
vibration.
yeah, the dual sense feedback. That would actually be amazing. That would
Because
really work in
they
gameplay.
did with one interesting thing that they did with the PS4 games was using the touchpad, basically touching the touchpad to be able to absorb the powers from any sort of surface on the
Yeah, and be able to like spray paint and all that good stuff. That was pretty nice. I thought that was pretty
really
cool.
inventive stuff.
Yeah, so maybe they might do something with that. So far, I think like we are still in like the early days of the PS5 releasing. So
The
I
one
think
thing
we
I
need-
have to say is, ironically, the only games I genuinely want from the next generation, because I've been waiting for new games, at least for this one franchise since the PS2,
yeah,
Escape game.
Ape Escape.
That series has been dormant.
Yeah, it's
Since
been gone for a
PS2.
while. I remember
I
seeing
do
like
not-
a Cadicarus review on it.
I do not count the PS3 remake with the move controls.
Yeah.
I mean, just dedicated continuation, because the last one we got was Ape Escape 3, and that was through mid 2000s, and that's just been it's been too long since the last one. And the other thing I have to mention, obviously, is a continuation of Gravity Rush 2.
Yeah, that one has been dormant for a while as well. Cause like,
Not as much as Ape Escape, though.
yeah,
I'm just
Ape,
saying,
yeah, because that's a PS2 game. It has been gone
Yeah.
for a while. Another
Gravity
franchise
Rush-
that oh sorry.
Gravity Rush has been treated so poorly by PlayStation that it's just been incredibly upsetting to see, since they give so much advertising for games that do not deserve it or really need it to begin with, but they just don't bother giving it to ones that actually need the advertisement, like Gravity Rush.
Yeah.
So the reason why it's even more
Yeah,
the reason it's
you can
even
also say
stupid
the sorry. I'm sorry.
it's the reason why it's even more stupid is because they then act surprised that nobody bought the game when they barely advertised it to begin with, and then they shut down the servers for the online mode, when once again it's their fault, their main fault anyway, why the game did not sell very well.
Yeah. You could say the same about like okay, there's this weird thing with the Game Awards, and this is something that like probably a lot of people like were annoyed at, like and I don't actually understand why people considered like The Last of Us as Game of the Year 2020. Like,
Yeah, that
I'm
was
still-
awful.
I'm
The only award that it genuinely deserved was the accessibility options, because I
yeah
haven't talked about that game is amazing with its accessibility option for many sort of players. Literally just accessibility for normal people or accessibility for people that are disabled. It's incredibly good, the amount of details that they have in the game. That's incredibly thoughtful for those people. That's why that's the really only award I think it really deserved to win. The other awards that it did not deserve to win at all.
yeah. I feel like Hades or
Doom-
either like
Doom-
Doom
Doom
Eternal
Eternal
or
just-
Hades, because Hades
Doom
was
Eternal
really
got
doing
completely
incredible.
snubbed. Doom Eternal did not win anything, and that just completely upset me to see.
Oh yeah, that game was amazing. Like,
It won absolutely nothing.
actually, that's the same with okay, when Resident Evil 2 remake came out, like like there was no awards given to it whatsoever, and like that game is actually really well done. It manages to remake a lot of the mechanics.
Yeah.
It's still able to be a scary game at the end of the day, and yeah, it's honestly kind of sad I didn't get a chance.
Well, I have the same sort of thing as well with what happened in 2016 Game of the Year. They gave it to Overwatch.
Oh,
Just going to say this though. Speaking as a person that put in very closely nearly 5,000 hours into the game, I've not been playing it for the past 2 years though. Even at the time, I did not agree with the game getting Game of the Year, and that was when I thought the game was actually pretty good. Now, ever since like mid 2017, the game has gotten worse and worse and worse and
yeah.
worse and worse,
Yeah.
and it kept getting even worse and worse and worse. So me looking back in retrospect,
It's
it
not all
really
that
did
great.
not.
Yeah. With the way okay, let's think about this. Sorry, I might have gone out for a bit. With the game of year, I think Overwatch definitely did not deserve what it got, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't really play battle games like that, online battle games, because
And it's very funny because I'm not even much of a fan of online games.
really,
I got it because it looked good, and I ended up having a lot of friends from it, but I don't really get to speak to them very much anymore, mostly because, the game is just basically dead now. But the thing is, again, though, the advertising did a very good job at actually making me want to get the game. But nowadays, anyway, I barely play any online games, and that's mostly because it's either fighting games or online first-person shooters. I barely ever bother buying them because I only find satisfaction in online games when I'm playing with other people, and I very rarely get to play with other people online.
yeah.
I don't get the same satisfaction with random people.
Yeah. For one, with I definitely think that there's a lot of games that deserve more love than they get, and for genuine games that I feel like game of the year should not be dependent by consumers. I feel like it should be also the fans, because I feel like it was more like the reviewing companies like IGN and all that
It is.
that really were pulling the strings. Because if it was the
Here's the
player
thing.
fan base, there would be a much bigger outcry for Doom Eternal. And
Here's the thing with the Game Awards. I discount all of the awards in that ceremony purely because they do not include games that release in December.
Yeah.
It's not a Game of the Year or anything like that award ceremony if you don't actually hold account the entire previous year. Because remember, they were going to give awards to Smash Ultimate in 2020. No, 2019.
Yeah.
When it came out 2018. The day when the awards happen is when the game came out. They should be holding it they should be holding it in January or February, not December.
Yeah, I feel actually, yeah, you know what? Yeah, Game of the Year should actually be January and February of the next year, because then
when I hear Game of the Year, I assume the entire year, not discounting December, because I'm just going to, if I'm going to see Game of the Year 2020 for a game that came out 2019 on the box, I'm just going to be confused.
Yeah, it definitely maybe it's all just some kind of rigging game or something like that.
It's why I just completely discount the awards to begin with, since it's not a award if it's going to be like that.
Yeah, but now they've started implementing game announcements here and there.
Yeah, that's really the only reason why people even watch it.
Actually, yeah, that is true. No one actually comes for the actual award ceremony. It's literally just for seeing the games. Yeah, same. I actually no. I wait until it's past, and then I just watch.
To be fair, I also like to see the incredibly awful ads that they have on there.
I will. Yeah, because I remember the Stadia ads were also really popular.
Not just that, but also a random ad for the new Harley Quinn movie.
Oh my, yeah, that was weird. Stadia as a thing, it was an interesting concept, but it ultimately was just another Google scheme or something like that.
Me, I really don't like the digital culture or anything like that. I see absolutely no benefit compared to physical games at all. So me looking at Stadia, where it's literally the same but no digital downloads, my thoughts was just, it's going to be incredibly laggy when it comes out.
Yeah, and I think that was the same with me, because I was thinking to myself, there's no way in hell they're gonna get Assassin's Creed to run at 1080p 60 frames with everyone's Wi-Fi speed.
Yeah.
No.
Not just that, but there's also the input delay.
That's true. You can't like once you press a button, it takes like 2 seconds for someone to jump.
Yep.
Oh god. What else? I was trying to talk about something else before I mentioned Game Awards. Oh yeah, there's another franchise that like I really want to come back because like we were kind of left in the dust when it like ended. Sly Cooper, because Sly
Yeah.
4, it ended on like an abrupt note, and it was like, oh, what's the next game we're gonna set up? It's gonna be in Egypt and all that. That sounds really cool.
Nearly
And then
10 years later.
yeah, maybe. I'm really hoping for something. Because, like, they also teased a movie for it and never followed up on it.
That was around the same time and it never came out.
Yeah. It was actually like, okay, first they were gonna do a Ratchet and Clank movie, and then, like, they were gonna do other PlayStation
Sorry about the
ones.
background noise. That's my dog.
Don't worry, my dog has been barking in the background a few times.
Yeah, I just want to say I do not have the best audio setup, so I'm very sorry if it's not very good.
Nah, it's okay. I would say the same either for me. But oh man, I hope that like a lot of franchises get resurrected on the PS5. Like getting to see them in a HD quality with ray tracing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing that I desperately want, but I know that they will not do, is give Gravity Rush 2 a 60 FPS patch.
Yeah.
Because it seems beautiful and it runs great, so imagine that in 60 FPS. Heaven.
That would be heaven.
Too recently has just been the most recent one from my memory.
Is Gravity Rush on PC?
No, it's only on PS4. Well, the first game is on Vita and PS4, and the second game is only on PS4.
Oh my god. Okay, well, hopefully I can get a Vita at some point to check it out.
I recommend it. It's still an incredibly good system, just killed very young.
Yeah. Maybe they might make something like an equivalent with the PS5. Or just straight up resurrect it.
I still prefer it a lot more than the Switch, and I prefer the Wii U to the Switch. Because I don't know if I said to you, I've barely touched the Switch in the entire time that I've had the thing.
Same here, because the games are very pricey, and I don't think I can be able to even afford.
It's not just that though, but there's barely been any games I actually have any interest in. The last time I actually played on the Switch for a new game anyway was November last year, and that was for the new High Warriors game, and I've not ever since, and we're already nearly in November.
Either around 2018 or 2019 was where I was using my Switch last, because for the entirety of 2020 and 2021 I have not touched that thing whatsoever. I only came back
to the thing in October last year, purely because they finally re-released the No More Heroes games, and also finally let Europeans play the original game uncensored.
Oh wow, it was censored in Europe.
Yeah, the original Wii version was censored in Europe, where we just had black smoke instead of blood coming out of the enemies. And the other thing I have to say with that is, really fun fact here, that is the first digital full price game I've ever just immediately bought on release day. Cool. Purely because I've been wanting them to finally re-release these games for a very long time, so I can finally play them, because I had a really huge interest in them. Now I was finally able to, so obviously I was given exactly what I wanted, so because of that, the company deserved my money.
Hell yeah. Okay, I think we're gonna... Alright, we've been going on for a while, it's...
Yeah.
But I think we're just gonna end it off on one more thing, and then just call it a day, because genuinely, it has been fun talking with you, and I'm gonna keep talking with you after this is ended and all that, but
yeah, same.
Yeah. Let's see, one more thing to talk about. I noted down at some point. You saw the Sonic stuff yesterday, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people keep saying it's like an Adventure 1 remake, but I think it might end up being a new game entirely.
We've technically already gotten the title, and it's Sonic Rangers.
Yeah, because people like decoded the whole thing, like from leaks and
It's
stuff.
either that, or it was either that, or it was sadly Sega accidentally put it in the press release.
Yeah. Sonic Rangers, that sounds like a pretty good name for a Sonic game. I mean, Rangers are like sort of explorative. Maybe it's gonna be an open world game.
All I hope is that it's just actually good and not just completely not like Forces.
Yeah, I'm hoping for good writing, great gameplay. It's about time we got a game that could match up with Sonic Generations, because like
Forces, just that was one of the most miserable times I've ever had playing a video game.
Yeah, it's sad that like
playing it.
Yeah, and it's really sad that like Forces was like pretty much just a game for people to like for Sega to trick people into buying.
It felt so soulless when I was playing through it.
Yeah, and you can actually just look at it and literally see like there's no passion put into it, there's no like effort.
Especially since a lot of the game you don't even have to use the analog stick.
Yeah, you just have to press one button, because the whole thing is automated.
At least with modern Sonic's gameplay, anyway.
Yeah. What, like, no drifting, no like drop that, what is it, like ground pounding, there's no like actual skills. That Sonic's moveset has been completely degraded in this game. Like when you compare it to a game like Sonic Unleashed, you can like see the differences as bright as day. And in Sonic Unleashed for like the Xbox
it's still very funny though, because Sonic Unleashed is still the best looking Sonic game, and it's already over 10 years old now.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
That's a bit sad.
Yeah, the Xbox 360 version looks amazing. Like, in fact, I actually wish that was also part of like Sonic Colors and such. Like,
they should have everyone's basically been saying, from what I can see, they wanted them to do a remaster of Unleashed, because I would have wanted that too. That game looks amazing. So imagining that if they released it on 5 anyway, imagining that in full 4K, beautiful.
Yeah, that would be perfect. That would just be amazing. And getting a PC release for it as well, hell yeah. I've been wanting to play the console version. I played the Wii version like when I was younger, because I didn't like have a proper
I did the same sort of thing too. The modern console versions, I got to Eggman Land and I haven't continued it since getting there, purely because I've heard, all of the horror stories of how bad that level is. And I haven't started it yet.
Oh my god, you understand me. Oh my goodness, I have had trouble, like as a kid, like the game itself, like it did get challenging as time went on, but I was able to push through. But Eggman Land is it's just so torturous, and the fact that like the time attack is also another thing that really bothers me, because like you can't be able to get through, like there's a bunch of stuff you actually have to like memorize different sections in order to actually like get through it.
Keep in mind that I got to Eggman Land in 2017 and I still haven't continued it to this day, purely because I then think about I should finish Unleashed, and then I immediately think, oh yeah, I then have to play Eggman Land.
Yeah, that's the same with me.
By the way, I'm playing on PS3, so it's a bit laggy.
Yep, that's the thing about Sony. For some reason, the PS3 version was like
it was both Sony and Sega's fault.
Yeah, I don't understand what was up with that anyways. Also, the PS2 version is really drastically different from like the Wii version, like quality wise.
It's mostly because the PS3 was really hard to develop for at the time.
Yeah, that is true.
It's why a bunch of games like the Bayonetta PS3 port and the Darkness 1 perform really laggy in the PS3 version, while the Xbox doesn't.
Yeah, early development issues. That's something that really plagued the PS3 back in the day. God, I say back in the day. I'm like 17. God damn.
Yeah, it is back in the day. Sadly now, because the system came out in 2006, I think, and that's basically an entire like 15 years ago now.
Yeah, God. You just
It's
literally like
great.
look down at your hand and you see like, oh no, I have wrinkles.
We're incredibly old now.
Yeah. God damn. But yeah, there's a lot of good game. I think gaming is still gonna continue to be like prosperous in some way, at the very
Of
least.
course.
Prosperous. Like, is that the right word to use?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's gonna be a bunch of new games, and maybe there'll be even some franchises that like are similar to old ones that like have a similar charm and like add a new twist, you know?
Yeah, because at the time of this recording, anyway, next month's Ratchet and Clank is Rift Apart's going to be coming out,
Oh yeah.
which is first ever PS5, like exclusive PS5 game.
Oh yeah,
If you
that's true.
If you don't count Astro's Playroom, which comes free with it, and that's also going to be my first PS. That's also going to be my first video game that's going to cost me £70. So that.
Maybe like, okay, actually, you know what? If depending on you, if you wanna like, I think like wait until like price drop happens, cause like I don't think Sony has problems the same as Nintendo where there's like literally no price drop.
The thing is though, it's a Ratchet and Clank game, and it's the entire reason why I bought the system. That's why I have much of a problem with paying that much money.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get a PS5 myself, cause like, okay, there's
Also,
one place I've been eyeballing that has it, but I think I might as well get a laptop, because like the only reason I'm actually like getting a PS5 is so I can like play.
I was only incredibly lucky to even be able to get the system.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard to get. I was only able to get it by complete random accident. Well, not accident, just very lucky with the timing. It wasn't me being able to actually get it with my own skill, though.
Yeah, I'm really just considering that, like, hopefully things will get better, like, with the PS5 situation. I'm just hoping for Persona 5 Royale to be on PC, so I don't have to, like, buy a PS5. I can literally just,
I'm pretty sure it will happen soon.
Yeah. E3 is coming up real fast, so I have high hopes.
It'll either be announced at in a presentation, either that or just announced randomly from Atlas themselves, since they kind of did that sort of thing with the PC game show.
Oh my god, I'd have a panic attack if that was like just randomly drop one day, like, yes, Persona 5 on PC, and I'm like, what?
Me personally, I would like to see the older Persona game be ported to, consoles.
That would actually be really good.
Since I told you in a conversation I had last time that I bought the PC version of Persona 4 Golden on launch day, and I immediately refunded it because of how awful it ran. And it wasn't because of my specs, because it was well above the recommended amount. And it still ran really awfully, so after a bit of troubleshooting, I could not get it to work, so I just refunded it. I hope it's fixed now, but still, I'd rather have it on console to begin with, since I don't play PC very much to begin with.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be like a multi-release. I think Atlas might get into like multi-release, because like Nocturne is already on Switch, and like so I think that's like a good start for them to like properly port the games. Yeah. Okay. I think that's about it.
I think that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know though. I feel like alright, you know what? When Nintendo has like drops an E3 Direct, I think we should both like react to it and let's like see what happens, because I would love to just like see the new stuff and just react to what's going on.
We'll have to see what happens when that comes, because I do have obviously other people that want to do it with me, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's true. That is also true.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun. I'm really glad I got to invite you on this podcast. Yeah.
No problem.
All right. As
Okay.
for our audience, tune in to the next video or something like that. I don't have an outro properly, so see you later.
Somebody say